Welcome to another episode of Hel Talk. We have a very special guest with us today. We're going to assume that he is the ELO ranked number one 400 silver pulp player in the world. We don't have official results yet, but we're gonna assume.
I don't think I won enough to get number one actually, because the guy ahead of me was like 80 ahead of me, and with a record of 4-2, like I'd have to play people at the same elo as me every time to jump ahead by 80. Because if you play someone who's the same as you, you jump up 40. So
Well, there's also a lot of like recency bias in that score. Like the fact if you don't play, like if whoever was in first, I don't know whoever it was, but if they just didn't play this past weekend, it's basically like forget it. You're gonna forgo whatever slot you have. So
yeah, we'll see. I guess I'll have my moment of fame until CCO.
yeah. But regardless, I mean, you had this spot number two locked down.
Yeah.
But so let's see. So you played in the last 3 weeks of regional events in the Midwest. So there's one in Wisconsin, one in Illinois, and one in Indiana. And you placed fourth, first, and second, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Give us your thoughts on the current state of 400 silver pulp. What do you think is strong in it? What do you think should be stronger? Any other changes you'd like to see?
I mean, I think it's great. I I like it when I can go to an event and win stuff. So that really endears the format to me. Um, I I do really like it. I like that, it's kind of simple, but that doesn't mean there's stuff you don't have to worry about when you're building your team. Like you need to, as you're building your team, you need to think about, okay, well, how do I deal with pulse wave? How do I deal with barrier? Because both of those are going to be really strong powers, and if if you can't deal with those, then you you won't automatically lose, but you can really struggle. Um, I really like that it's a lot more accessible too. Like I don't have to worry about getting an $80 Phoenix Pog. When the format was announced 3 weeks ago, I guess there's no more cool stuff. I guess they're getting out of clicks. But when the format was announced, however many weeks ago, I just went on to cool stuff and I bought like $10 worth of figures, and I was like, okay, I have everything that I need now. And I did have everything that I needed for the team I played the first week, and then I changed things up a little bit after that. But so that's really great. There are a couple of things I don't like though. I don't like that they allow rock maps. Those, well, I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, but those can be really complex and really oriented towards certain team styles. Like in modern or in silver, regular silver, I think they're fine because there's such a diversity of. There are these figures that just do everything, basically, right? Or you can put the Crimson gem on someone for 10 points, and then anyone can destroy your blocking terrain on your team, and stuff like that. So those big blocking or big elevated maps are fine there. But when you get into pulp, all of a sudden, you've got. I mean, how many multi-character taxis with phasing are there that are even good in pulp? There's Green Oracle, and then Pip the Troll can carry 2 people. And if you play Ganthet, you can give someone with phasing Green Lantern team ability. But really, so if you're playing a taxi team and your opponent picks a Major Brock's Bunker, you kind of just have to accept that you're going to move a lot slower than you would on a normal map. And so I didn't really like that aspect of it. I also don't like the silver map list. Like there are maps I would love to play. Like my Star Trek maps would be really great with certain teams. But those are not on the silver map list, and that reason is not very clear to me. I don't know why I can't have Star Trek's Underground Caverns when people can have things like King's Tomb and Major Brock's Bunker. So that's.
Yeah, I totally, feel you on that argument. Where it's like, I believe that pulp as a format should be like everything that I'm using in the format I purchased like at my local game store, right off the
Yeah.
shelf.
Yeah, or
And,
as $1 singles online or something.
yeah, but that's the thing is like even like a lot of the local game stores, they'll have a box of commons and uncommons that'll say like 25,
Yeah,
50 cents, a buck a piece. And it's like, yeah, like I just went to my local game store and I got my team. Like I feel like that's what pulp, to me should be. It's kind of like it should be very
yeah,
easy to get a team, and so that way, literally, like any Joe Schmo can just say, "Hey, I want to play in a competitive event." It's like, yeah, like that's the format that you should start in
yeah,
because if a brand new player, even if they're very versed in the rules, but if they're like, "Hey, I just never got into competitive," and they go, "Okay, here's 300 modern, here's 400 just regular silver," like you and I, we both know, like, yeah, it's true to say, but I don't know if you've seen these typical kind of Facebook posts of people um, saying that they're in this situation, saying, "Hey, I'm going to my first competitive event. What should I expect?"
yeah,
And one of the typical pieces, I guess, of advice that people will give to these give out is saying, prepare to lose a lot. You're going to
yeah,
lose probably every single game that you play, and it's like, oh man, is that like it's like that's not great. I mean, but it's like, yeah, that's what's going to happen if you go into 300 modern and you're not familiar with the competitive meta. You're going to lose every single game,
yeah,
and
definitely.
then that's just what it is. But with pulp, it's kind of like it should be at least slightly more like, hey, you could win with even like a quote unquote big dumb thing. Like you can
Yeah,
just play Knight and do well. You can just play Dormammu and do
yeah,
well. You obviously have to recognize that those pieces will, perform well, but there may just be those type of players who just go, "What's the highest point game element I can play in this format?" And you go,
yeah,
"Well, that's it. There they are. It's only those
yeah,
200-point figures." And you just go, "Okay, I want to play that." And you're like,
yeah,
"Congratulations, those are also competitive viable." And you're like, "Oh, look at that." So but yeah, I really think that pulp should just be a thing that you can go to the store, buy your team right there off the shelf, and just go, I'm done.
yeah,
Versus then showing up to it and going, hey, did you know that there was this other really like a hidden website that sells maps, that you
yeah,
can that are legal for this game.
yeah.
And it's like that
35
it's
bucks a piece maps.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And they're
yeah. And
not
those,
advertised anywhere. So as a brand new player, the only way that you can learn that these exist is through other players. So if you're just showing up by yourself, you're going to be going, "What the heck? What is this map?" And of course, then
yeah,
they'll explain it to you, but you may have already lost the game because you were not aware that these maps even existed. It's like so it's yeah, but I don't know. But that brings me to another point is so I believe that the the floor, that requirement
yeah,
of having half your team be Silver Age, I don't think that's necessary for Pulp because once again, I also believe that you should be able to buy your whole team at the store, and many stores don't carry Silver Age product anymore, or if they do, they're far and few between. They're very select. It's not like you know. While there are some stores that just say, "Hey, here's a brick or here's a case of a Silver Age set," some stores have them still.
yeah,
Many's don't. So, um, so I'm against the floor for the format. I also don't think it's necessary. I don't think based on the teams that you and I have both played and seen, I don't think that there is a pure modern age team or even mostly modern age team that will just basically beat everything that we've already been playing and seeing. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah. I mean, I think floor should be removed just to increase team like the diversity of teams we'd see. Honestly, because right now a lot of the good teams will stay even with the floor removed. Blue Marvel will be good. Falcon will be good. Um, Poison Ivy will still be good. But if we remove the floor, we could start seeing things like probably Guardians of the Galaxy might get a lot more Wakanda. you kind of want to play Guardians of the Galaxy with Wakanda through the T'Challa Star-Lord from Disney Plus. But both of those theme teams get a lot more viable if you allow, you can have as many pieces on your team from Modern as you want. And I don't think they're going to be, I don't know if they're going to be winning any tournaments with what we're seeing right now, but I think they're going to be doing a lot better. And I think once Venom comes out, Soldier teams are really just going to dominate. Soldier teams and Dormammu are going to be the biggest things. So once once we get a lot of these bystander generators out, my worry is that the meta for Silver Pulp might just reduce instead of getting bigger with new strategies that we might be seeing. So I would definitely support opening up the floor, and that way we can have a bigger diversity of strategies.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, and obviously I agree with that. I just, to your point with, I think we can both see that Soldier teams, because of, I always get his name wrong. It's Rex Strickland, right? That's his name.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, once he's meta or modern or whatever, legal, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Once he's legal, like, right, then it's kind of Soldier or bust, because the idea of, well, I can still play a bystander team. It's like, are you going to risk it? Because you sit down in front of a Gore player and then you instantly lose.
I mean, Primus was bad enough. Like that's who I played against in the finals last night was Primus, and my team was really struggling to keep up. I had to play super slowly because I was playing bystander generators, and I just if it had been Gore, I wouldn't have been able to do anything pretty much, because Dr. Psycho was the only real like attacker on my team who didn't generate bystanders, and he died pretty quickly. So against Gore, I would have really struggled.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, like Primus is really good against the bystander teams, but it doesn't completely shut them down. It's like, hey, I can, even if I have to run away from Primus or any other brute character, I could run away and then generate something. Whereas against Gore, it's like, no, you can't run anywhere. And then if anything, the Gore team says you have to actually come to me. And you're like, well, I can't because I can't generate anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and God forbid they play Primus and Gore, and you're like, no, so it's like, I can't carry anybody next to you, and I can't generate anybody on that period. So like, well, what are we doing here?
I think Primus, the whole play, like I was focusing on generating when I was kind of preparing to face him, but the whole placement thing is really good too. Like, can't carry up. If you're playing Primus and you face Moon Knight can't retaliate against you. He can just do his running shot and that's it. Assuming most or all of your characters are brute keyworded. So I think he's really good. I can see why he got an uptick in play as the 3 weeks went on of events that we were having.
Yeah, because you did mention, now I'm as soon as I said this, I just forgot the name, but selection bias, is that what you said, or something like that?
I can't even remember the name off the top of my head.
Yeah, but it's, we spoke, I think this was, I don't know if I was at the first or the second
frequency dependent selection. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, people are seeing the bystander stuff get used a lot. I'm like, okay, well then now I'll use the things that really counter it, because they're just expected to be used again. So
and then less people will play bystanders because you're getting this stuff that counters bystanders, and then it'll shift every now and again, assuming this format stays, which I hope it does. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I am confident that that CCO is going to be committed to it. I don't think that, and I talked about this, I think, in the last episode, that I don't think there's any way to just kind of in one or two steps or iterations just say, all right, we fixed it. I think it's going to take many iterations. And I think that the key to this format is going to just be extremely frequent changes to either that being that a set comes out or the ban in what I hope to be a restricted list, formally introduced into the format, and just change that, so frequently so that, nothing ever gets solved. So it's like, for uh, during your game with Rick in the finals, I was talking to Logan on the side, and he was just being like, "Oh, bystander teams are just really good. They're just so good." And it's like you just have you either lose to them or you build against them. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of, it feels a little bit like that right now in the format, but
Mhm.
I'm like, if those teams are only good for like a month and a half or 2 months, like, so what? Like, so you're seeing, you know, like, you will never see this level. Like, you're not going to get your money's worth out of Morloon when Venom comes out.
Yeah.
You're not gonna, like, Morloon and Bloodstorm, boop, they're gone. Like, just put them
Yeah.
away, because you're not gonna. Again, are you gonna risk playing them, knowing that your
Yeah. No, of
opponent
course
will
not.
just play it? It's like, especially when you kind of just want to play Gore almost yourself. Like, it's like,
Yeah, he's
just
really
play
good.
yourself, and just turn off everything. So, uh, but it's, so I'm fine with letting basically pieces kind of get their time in the sun. Just be like,
Yeah.
look, these pieces, they've never been played in any other format. So of course, like, this is great. There's a piece that is good in this format, and then hey, a set comes out and it's not good anymore. All right, fine. And like we know soldier teams are going to be really good. But it's
Yeah.
like, but if they're only good for a month or a month and a half, then so what? It's like, all right, so
Yeah.
everyone's playing Rex Strickland. And then, like you said, it's like, well, how are people going to counter that, moving forward? Like, people might play, like, what is the, I don't know, anti-soldier team to, if one exists in the format.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking what they might need to do is if they released a character that was like, oh, when this character hits, opposing characters lose keywords that aren't printed on their cards. And then you hit Moon Knight once and he loses Flurry. And then that would kind of balance that out. That's what I was thinking in terms of how you would need to counter that, but I'm not sure. Primus will still be good because he'll counter Moon Knight and Moon Knight will be everywhere. Maybe they should just ban Moon Knight from the format, honestly.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's like, I think there are enough, soldiers or just soldier symbiotes that even are
Mhm.
coming in the Venom set, that it's like, even if they just said, hey, we're going to put Moon Knight on a temporary ban list,
Yeah.
soldier team would still be good. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like,
I
oh, I
definitely
can't play.
agree there.
So, yeah, there's still plenty of options. Not to
Yeah.
mention every option stretching back all the way just through Silver Age. How many soldiers exist through all of that. So, and looking at figures that are already good
Mhm.
in the soldier format, where it's like, okay, look, you already got the Captain America, the +2 defense. You already have, the Falcon, Blue Marvel, Red Widow package.
Mhm.
Granted, none of them really truly benefit from, like, the full package of, like, the stealth and flurry, because it's like, well, Red Widow already has stealth and flurry. The
Yeah.
flurry on Blue Marvel, you're probably never going to use. Maybe stealth is good, and
Yeah,
then,
no, stealth will definitely
yeah,
help. I mean, there's a lot of ranged attacking in Pulp. A lot more
yeah,
than
and, like,
Martin, that's for sure.
Fal-
So,
Falcon getting stealth and flurry is really good, because I think he's got close combat expert as well, or something like that, right? So, it's
yeah.
like, so, you know the benefit there isn't, as good as it would be, because it's like, well, again, because Red Widow already has those things, but it's like, those are
Mhm.
already good pieces. But again, are
Yeah.
we are we tired of also seeing those pieces anyway? I believe probably that whole package of them, maybe just put it on the restricted list. And again, because there's already so many other soldiers, uh, that are just going to do just as well. It's just that those are, as you mentioned, kind of just, they're pieces that they do everything that they need to, um, except run through walls. It's like they do
Yeah.
everything. But
Are there any soldiers who run through walls? Let's see, shall we? How do I do this? Advanced search. There's probably something coming up in the new set. I wouldn't be surprised that can break through walls.
let's see. So we're looking for soldier that runs through walls in pulp.
Yep. Improve movement, destroy blocking. Oh, there's bulldozer and bulldozer. So both the old one from the Mighty Thor, no one's gonna play that. But yeah, this one from Smash and Destroy, charge but don't have speed. That's gonna be good with Flurry.
Yeah, full movement. Yeah, full movement charge with
destroy the
flurry.
blocking, and then flurry them. That's great. No notes. Like,
yeah, that's good.
you want
Yeah,
to go off theme, if you want to go off theme, put Shuri next to him at the start of the game. Just give him
yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I don't think soldier teams need to be a theme. I think it's because I still think if they don't significantly change, the restricted and banned list, like if Moon Knight is still part of it, it's like you're still going to be playing Madison. You know what I mean? Like you're still. But if Moon Knight is not in the picture, then it's like well, how are you going to fill in these 200 points? It's like you'd probably be playing Bulldozer because he goes in, charge, flurry. You run through the wall. Maybe you end in the debris that you created, so you got stealth from there. You hit two people, knock them both back with super strength.
Yep,
that's good. And then, or maybe if you don't knock them back, you got Master of Evil team ability for the follow up attack of somebody else. It's like
you can just carry up a dog. He gives him power, and then you just attack with the dog. That's pretty good.
Yeah, his dog.
I mean, he's not a soldier or anything, but
no, but is he?
So,
he is tiny. He is tiny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a figure I was really surprised didn't see more play. There was like a whole list of 20 figures. I was like, oh, there's no way people aren't going to play this, and then nobody played him. That's one of them.
Yeah, it is strange, especially because the dog also has the wild card, or team player, I should say.
Yeah. So like, and on not just on soldier, like on mostly brute. If you slot in Rex Strickland there, there's probably enough overlap. But what's the guy we were just talking about? The bulldozer and dog both share brute keywords, so they play with Primus. All those brute support pieces are going to help them out. I'm guessing we'll see a lot of play from bulldozer coming up.
Gonna be playing. They're gonna be playing bulldozer.
Hammerhead's so good. Yeah, Minotaur from Wonder Woman 80, 20 points to bust up blocking, 10 attack blades, and he's a sidekick, so you can boost his attack against a lot of common keywords.
Yeah, especially the things that people are playing. It's like if people if they're playing gore and stuff like that, you're gonna have deities. Yeah, deities, mystical, cosmic. Like that's you can get plus
cosmic,
2 attack on people.
The cosmic one, is that a super rare or is that a rare? I can't remember which one boosts against cosmic.
That is, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I just know. I knew that was one of them. Maybe it's not. Maybe it isn't legal in pulp, but who knows?
Let's check them out. Where's the roll tag for the allies? There's roll tag. Ally. So you can get X-Men, Justice League, Deity, Green Lantern Corps, Robot, Fantastic Four, Scientist, and Mystical.
Yeah, so there might be characters like get plus 2 attack on it. So
yeah, and there's not really anything good for your sideline. Like if I'm running a Minotaur I'm not gonna remember my Scroll Spy and my Sentinel anyway, so I'll just put these on and say, okay, anytime my Minotaur attacks these keywords, it gets a buff.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's plenty of good
Yeah.
stuff. So let's see. Looking back at the three events that you were in,
Yeah.
which event would you say was the most challenging for you? And why was it the one that I knocked you out of Top Cut? No, I'm just joking.
No, it
But
was that one because
oh, it was.
yeah, well, it was, it was the first time trying out the format. My my team was good, of course, but I wasn't as used to all the different things I could do, I guess. Like, I kept forgetting a lot more than I kept forgetting in the other games. I kept forgetting Ashley Barton had poison. Uh, I wasn't correctly counting the number of squares I needed to move. I wasn't sure about which maps I wanted to pick. So that was definitely the most challenging. And then I was able to refine my team a little bit. Swapped out Moreland, who is good, but I think Poison Ivy is better. Or maybe she is. I don't know. I like that.
I disagree with that, but I see where that exploit weakness from the thorns comes in like so clutch sometimes. But
well, the main reason was that she's not modern. So I could, in the absence of a Flora, I probably would have kept Moreland. But since I could replace Moreland with her, I then had points for Hal Jordan. Modern points for Hal Jordan over Scarlet Witch or Wanda Maximoff, who's my defend piece at first. So then with Hal Jordan, I had another sidestep TK. I had an even better defend, and Scarlet Witch wasn't getting to use her prob even because she was stuck in the middle of all my pieces the whole time. So I didn't miss the prob there.
Gotcha. So I'm looking through your and I think the I don't know if it was the biggest change, but I think one that made the biggest impact is you included time breakers.
Yeah, no, that was another thing too. Is I didn't have to spend 55 on Jack Russell, so I swapped him out. And I originally had, I think in like an earlier draft, I had Dr. Psycho and Aunt May instead of Jack Russell, and I kept Moreland. And then I was like, okay, but I want time breakers because they're really good. So I said, okay, well, let's just get rid of Moreland. Like, I don't even need to worry. I don't need to heal him or anything. And let's replace with Poison Ivy. And then we can lose Aunt May. We can bring on a time breaker. I forget what else I did. Oh, yeah. Well, it was I swapped Wanda for blue Hal Jordan as well, was the other change I made. So the points all evened out in the end. And then one other advantage I found that Poison Ivy has over Moreland is Moreland, I would generate Bora and Bricks and Flurry and KO guy, and then they're just stuck there. But Poison Ivy, I would generate a Thornvine and KO guy, and then next turn I would move over and generate another Thornvine. She was limited to 4 instead of 1 for her Flurry piece. And that made a big difference.
Yeah, always having the Flurry on hand versus with Moreland sometimes like, oh, I have to use Soulless.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, I agree. There's definitely advantages to both. Were you ever because obviously as people kind of got wise to certain team abilities being really strong, we saw more people play things like Dario Agger and Leech. Did those pieces cause any issues for Poison Ivy? Because her Batman enemy team ability is a huge part of her kit.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, yes. So I played against Miguel had Leech at the Illinois event, and I played against him, and we forgot about Leech during the first game, and that kind of made the difference. Like, I wouldn't have been able to KO Blue Marvel if he had remembered Leech takes away Poison Ivy's team abilities. But we both forgot. and I KO'd Blue Marvel right away. So it could have been a completely different game. But then second match, I made sure to go for Leech really early on, and I got him, and I ended up winning that as well. So it didn't make too much of a difference. And then yesterday, I played against a team that had Dormammu and Dario Agger, and if he had moved up Dario Agger really early on, he would have been a problem for me. But as it was, I don't know what my opponent was really thinking, but his first turn, so I went first, and then his first turn, he PK running shotted with Dormammu and just KO'd like my expendable goons that were generated in the front, basically. And then he didn't leave anyone adjacent to Dormammu, so I just walked up and killed him with my bystanders. He couldn't mastermind to anyone or anything. But if he had moved up Dario Agger, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But it's also worth noting, so with the way my team is set up, the bystanders are getting +1 attack from Iceman and +1 attack from Aaliyah Gregor. So they're +2 attack. So if they copy Poison Ivy, they get 13, which obviously is great. But if they don't, they have 10, and then Ashley Barton is preventing my opponents from raising their combat values. So a 10 attack flurry, if your opponent can't raise combat values in Pulp, is still solid. Like, that's still... You're still going to have a good chance of hitting at least once, and then they were doing 5 damage each time they hit. So, you know, it wasn't... That's the reason Leech didn't really bother me that much when I played against Miguel the second time. I was still able to get in there and start attacking and hitting his low defense characters with those vines.
So if you had to play, basically, you know, if you had to play a fourth Pulp event, you know, same, but you know, format would be exactly the same. No changes to any characters or any banner restricted lists.
Yeah.
Do you think that the team that you currently have is kind of more or less in its most refined state?
Yeah, more or less, I'd say that. I mean, the two biggest issues with my current team are blocking gets in the way of most everything. Mostly, what I ended up doing was I would just use expendable goons with Quake to get rid of blocking. Because, you know, if I'm going first, then my opponent's picking maps, so blocking could be a problem. If I'm going second, I don't get my goons, but I'm also picking maps, so I can choose whether or not I want there to be a lot of blocking. So that wasn't as much of an issue. Or it wasn't an issue in terms of, you know, me having to deal with a ton of blocking and not having goons to help me with it. But, like, it's still... You know, my polar bear can only charge 3 squares to destroy that blocking. So it can still be problematic for that team. And then the other thing is Primus is just such an issue for this team. If my opponent wants to play Primus aggressively, they can really take advantage of me there. But I think Dr. Psycho is kind of like the linchpin there, because he is the... You know, in theory, he should be able to walk up and say to... He should be able to walk up and say, okay, well, your Primus is adjacent to all your strong attackers. Well, let's just go in and KO Primus really early on with the Dr. Psycho mind control. And then next turn, you will probably come up and attack Dr. Psycho because he's right there, and then I can move the rest of my team up. So I don't know if there's any changes I would make. Everything on the team has a really solid role too, so it makes it really hard to want to swap anything out. Yeah, I don't think I'd make any changes.
And if the if the silver modern floor was removed, would you still for this specific team, would it still remain the same?
Yeah, I think it would. I don't... Like I said, originally I swapped out Moreland for Poison Ivy because of the floor, but I think that the way the team is set up now, I don't want to have someone for dedicated healing who I stay in the back. Even if it's just a 10-point Aunt May, like, everyone on my team is so precisely put in there to do exactly what they do, you know? It's kind of a precariously balanced team. It's like, if you don't have Hal Jordan, kind of falls apart. If you don't have Ashley Barton, kind of falls apart. If you don't have Jason Massendale, you just lose certain matchups. Iceman and Aaliyah Gregor, you need those to get the attack bonuses. So, yeah, I think even without Flora, I'd keep my team the same.
All right. Well, then thinking so, I guess that brings me to the next different, I guess, Silver Pulp event will be at Adepticon. So I'm skipping over CCO in Florida because, as we already said, like you would have you if you went, you would use the same team.
Yeah.
I'm using the same team that I was been using, in my events. It's one of those things. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we know what it's weak against. We know there's things like you said, like you mentioned, like yeah, barrier can really hurt, and it's the same thing for my team. Like yeah, barrier hurts, but it's like I haven't been running into it that much, And
Yeah.
so I just kind of hope that I would continue to do that. But if I go against a team that's like I have, I haven't seen a single person across from me playing Marvella, which to me was kind of wild. I thought like, oh yeah, there'd be Marvella as one barrier, maybe plus
You
two.
didn't play Miguel last weekend?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but
That
it's
is
again, it's just like that luck kind of thing, where it's
Yeah. It's one thing about this format too is there's a number of figures I have just not played against, and I'm like, either how is nobody using these figures, or how have I not come up against them? Like they're just, like I said, probably a list of like 20 figures that are just so good in the format and nobody is using.
yeah, I agree. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, maybe people are just they're like, well, I don't want to be like that quote unquote that guy and be playing a
Yeah.
bunch of barriers. It's like, well, I mean, but if it wins, so what? Uh, but looking forward ahead to Adepticon.
Yeah.
So Adepticon, and as everybody knows, it's not an official WizKids event. It's completely fan run. I mean, technically, so is CCO in Florida, but WizKids actually will have a presence there. But at Adepticon, the rules for the 400 point Silver Age Pulp event are different. The first being that there is no floor, so you can 100% of your team can be modern age if you want it to be. So I mean, we already kind of discussed that, since Venom will not be legal by that time, it's probably not going to change the meta that much. As you mentioned, like I think, yeah, we probably will see some Guardians of the Galaxy teams. Are they going to completely crush the other teams that we've already been seeing do well? I don't think so. I just think they will be competitive against them. I don't think they're gonna
Yeah.
just start, just stomping everybody. I just think like, hey, this is another good team that you could play because they
Yeah.
definitely do work very well, especially when they're all together. Because it's like, hey, every single Guardians thing is like giving a buff to every other Guardians thing, and it's like, yeah, they all just kind of stack up and they work really well. But um, the other main, there's two other kind of big changes. The other one of them is they said that you can't use any character above. I don't know if it's above or maybe it's like 150 points and
I think
above,
it's
but
above 150, yeah.
yeah, above
Oh yeah, here it
150,
is.
which
No piece may be played above 150 points.
yeah. So really, what that does is it says, okay, obviously no Moon Knight, no Dormammu, which that's the two I think main things. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody do incredibly well with things like um that uncommon Doctor Strange from Disney Plus. I
Yeah,
mean,
or
it's just
Beyond or something, yeah.
yeah. So right, so it's like I don't think there's anything else. I think that piece of text effectively just bans two more characters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh,
I That kind of makes my team worse actually, because my team just does really well against Dormammu and Moon Knight teams. So or at least
right.
against all the Moon Knight teams I played and against the one Dormammu team I played, I won pretty handily.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
just random tangent thought that I just had when you were mentioning like pieces that are really good, but no one's playing them. Another one is that from the Spider-Man set, that Gwen Stacy, where she's like opposing characters that I think within 4 squares can't use super senses.
yeah, I played against one of
Yeah.
those actually, but
Oh,
it
you
is the
did?
kind of
Oh,
piece
okay.
I would expect to see on every team. Like,
Yeah, I
and
know. And
that's
I'm like,
so
look, I was
good. I
like, and
wasn't
I'm
even
like,
aware
yeah,
of it before I played against her.
yeah. I'm
And
like,
she's
she's actually,
autonomous. Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah. And I'm like, because again, it's another piece, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, she just destroys Moon Knight. You're like, oh
Yeah,
man, I'm on my stop click, and you're like, you don't, your stop click, it doesn't have any powers on it. Like it just,
yeah,
oh man. So it's just wild. But anyway, the other big changes that are being made to the Adepticon Pulp format is they have created their own restricted list.
yeah,
And I don't think they added anything to the ban list. I think the ban list is all the same, I
yeah.
believe. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
seeing anything on here. I
But
haven't pulled up, but
yeah. But they have a was it an 11 character restricted list. Um,
yep,
most
11
of
characters.
which I guess most of which I agree with.
Hmm.
There's a couple of them that I'm like, all right, I don't think they, necessarily need to be there, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, okay, Morlun, that's fine. It's like we're seeing a lot of it, and it's mainly because it's the next one, Morlun and Bloodstorm. Like, all right,
yeah,
fine. If you don't want them to use together, that's cool. There's plenty. If you want to play a bystander team, there's plenty of other characters that generate
yeah.
bystanders.
And you can still use
Um,
one of them. Like, I mean, that's what I did. Bloodstorm and Poison Ivy. It's still legal.
yeah, exactly. So you can definitely still go that route. Um, but in my opinion, I think I'm skipping down the list a little bit. I think they went a little overboard. I don't want to say overboard, but it's like I think it's a
I'm
little
not sure
too.
what Rescue does. Everything on this list, I know what they do. I didn't play against Nathaniel Richards at all, but I can see how he would be really good. I have no idea what Rescue does though.
Yeah, but the things that I'm not really super in agreement with is like Kazar and the Mary Jane Watson. I get that they both also make bystanders, and if
Hmm.
their goal is like, hey, you can't play any bystander characters at all, it's like by putting Kazar and Mary Jane Watson on this list, it's effectively banning them.
Yeah,
It's like in my opinion, I think restricted list characters should be characters that like you can build a team around, and
yeah,
you just don't want there to be like multiple kind of like characters that I'm building my team around on the same team. Like for example, like I think, in my opinion, like Primus could be a piece that goes on the restricted list. Not because it's too good, but it's just like, hey, do you want your team to have the capability of Primus and Morlun? Like, maybe not. You know what I mean? So, um,
yeah. I I don't know. Kazar makes sense to me. He works with a lot of really strong keywords. He's just a really adaptable figure. I don't think it's because of the bystander. I think it's because he can just move people half their speed value.
yeah, but I
But
mean, I don't know if that's necessarily, this is like ban, it's ban worthy. I don't know. Maybe. But like
maybe,
I said,
yeah.
I think because, like I said, the when I'm surprised, I'm more surprised that Kazar is on the list, or Kazar, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm more surprised that he's on the list over like Red Widow, because it's like you have the Falcon, Blue Marvel, and then Red Widow's not on the list.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, wait, whoa, like, oh, you're not putting Red Widow on the like, because that's also a really good piece. Again, comparing to like, would you be fine? Like what they're saying here is like, hey, we're fine that you play Falcon and Red Widow. Like they're like, that's okay. But Falcon and Blue Marvel, that's too good.
Oh man, I think that's a big difference to me though. Red Widow, I think, is a lot easier to take care of than Blue Marvel. 'Cause
I
she,
I don't know. I've
yeah,
had
she's a lot
I've
squishier.
had,
Like Blue
I've had
Marvel has a
that
top click,
feeling.
impervious to start. I definitely had more problems facing Blue Marvel than Red Widow. I faced Red Widow multiple times, and she only was a problem for me in the last match of the finals yesterday. And that was only, it was because of Primus. It wasn't even because of Red Widow, because I couldn't just go up to her and kill her with Primus. But every other
Yeah.
match, I just folded her with one attack, and it was fine.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I can see that. I just think the delivery system of Falcon Red Widow. It's like, in my opinion, that's not necessarily like a thing that's too good. I just think
Yeah.
it's something that we've seen enough of. We know how good it is.
Yeah.
Do we need to see it again? And I'm like, I don't think we do. Um, the Party Thor pick. I mean, I know we mentioned it's like, yeah, Pulse Wave is really good, but if they're effectively saying, hey, the what are the only two good pieces with Pulse Wave that people are using? Blue Marvel and Party Thor. I can't use both of them. And you're like, well, I don't know.
Well,
Does
I
Party
say
Thor?
good riddance. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Party
Again,
4 is so annoying.
again, it's like I don't feel like I've had that many issues with them. I don't know. But again, I get it. It's one of those things like that extra action token kind of does suck, but it's like if you're already playing stuff like Moreland, you're like, okay, whatever. I'll take an action token. I'll heal up and spawn another bystander, and then I hit you back. I don't know. Time
Yeah,
breakers, I think it's an obvious one. I think time breakers should just be banned from the
I
format. It's just
agree
too good.
completely. They
It's
are way, way too good.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I was saying like your biggest improvement from your first team to your second team is like, oh, you included time breaker. You're like, okay, now, oh man, and I don't know I don't know if you've had the same feeling that I did, but it's even like in the games that we played against each other, where I'm like, I know I'm able to move or place characters in a certain way, and
Yeah,
I know that
defense,
time breakers
not
will
a
be
problem.
able to, will give me that capability. It's like anywhere I want. Like, oh, I just need one more square, and you're like, oh, well, I'll just use time breaker. Time breaker will give me the
Yeah,
one more square every time. Yeah, it's too good.
yeah,
Um, the Mary Jane Watson, I don't. I'm not seeing it. Why it needs to be on the restricted list. I get autonomous stuff sucks. I get it, but
yeah. I don't know. Mary Jane Watson with Strife on paper is strong, but first of all, it's not something I played against at all. And second of all, I don't know. Like I played against Mary Jane Watson just by herself, no Strife. And he sent out some guys against me, and then I killed one of my expendable goons. So I just plopped a Mysterio next to all the paparazzi and killed him. And then that was that. Didn't affect me at all, you know.
yeah, yeah. Um,
And especially like I was running a vehicle as my taxi too, so don't need to break away. Uh, all the phasing taxis, Green Oracle, I guess, is the main phasing taxi. That one, if you have Green Oracle on your team, Mary Jane Watson, not a problem.
the Spiderling thing, I can see it. I mean, it's like, yeah, if you're gonna play it because you're playing it because of Orb, and then if you
Yeah,
use that combo, if you or it's really the Spiderling Orb and Scarlet Witch. Like that's kind of the
yeah. Except
package
only
there.
Spiderling is here, so you can still play those on a team together.
And I feel like, but I think that's appropriate in the sense of like, look, if you play that package, you're not playing it with Morloon, you're not playing it with Blue Marvel. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, that's so it's like that is the thing that you're building your team around is like the orb combo, and then it's like, you know, hey, you'll have to use someone who's slightly less reliable than Morloon, who can heal to click one every single turn, and and just
yeah,
just use someone that can't, that can actually die, and um, a little bit, more frequently than someone like Morloon. But yeah, the rescue. I'm looking at rescue right now. I've never played this piece. I've never gone against it. I don't see what this piece. I mean, it's obviously it's the problem, I guess, with this piece is the once per game damage thing. So it's like, okay, what? So I'm assuming you would find a way to give this piece pulse wave, and then you pulse wave a bunch of people for a D6 of damage, which is similar
Yeah, with
to
Daniel Richards. I guess that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, and then so that's very similar to the what's the other piece that they banned with the pulse wave? Deathstroke.
Yeah.
But this is it could be, depending on the D6 roll, arguably much better
Yeah.
than Deathstroke, because it's like, hey, if you deal 4 damage to everybody with pulse wave and then you also knock them back, that just wins the game. Like, all right, game's over. Everybody take 5 damage. Like, all right. So I can see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you'll have
Yeah, I can see it.
third.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know. I've been kind of watching results. I didn't look at tournament results from this last weekend yet, but I haven't heard of anyone playing this and doing well in a tournament either. So
Well, here's the ironic thing about that is the last time I heard you say something in a similar vein was when you said, where's all the poison teams?
Mm.
And then just on that same weekend, a poison team won. I think they
Oh,
won
really?
yeah, it won in, was it, let me see. It was
Gotta check this
either,
out.
yeah, it was like Ohio or Pittsburgh or something. Um, let's see here. I'm just trying to go, let's see, details. Let me look at all of the events in the champion. Clicks open, all the past events. Let's see what was happening in the last weekend. Was
Here's
it
the Ohio one.
Michigan? Was it Michigan? No, not Michigan. Let's see,
It wasn't
Ontario.
Ohio.
It wasn't Ohio. Let's see, was it Western Mass? It was. Let's see. Because I think it was J Major that was using it.
No, he
Because
won Ohio, but I the only poison I saw on his team was Joker.
I
And
thought
I,
he
I
said he was
actually I don't
playing.
even know off the top of my head if that Joker has poison. I just assume he does.
I thought he was saying, oh, okay, because anyway, that might be. Yeah, it's the Joker has the poison, and then with the Red Lantern recruit, he's playing too.
I did have Red
So
Lantern recruit.
yeah,
Okay, so it's like a semi poison team almost.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking more along the lines of like, let's see, where's the Ohio one? Here it is. Did he have? I'm pulling up his team here. Like, I'm not seeing Blight from JLU on his team. That's a really, really strong poison piece. Like, if you're gonna play a poison dedicated team, Blight is a must play.
yeah,
Because once he damages someone with poison, he does poison within 3 squares in line of fire. He ignores characters in elevated when he does it. And once he poisons someone, they take 2 damage instead of 1 from poison as long as he's on the map. So that's, he is just super important if you're playing a poison based team. But he's got like a multi kind of a Swiss Army knife team. And I noticed he's also not playing Astral Baron Mordo, who I think is really, really good on poison teams also. Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
obviously a really good team, but it's not a dedicated poison team.
All right. Well, anyway, I guess I was led astray a little bit because in their post, he's like, I went undefeated with, he said with Joker and with Red Lantern recruit. So I thought he was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, doing more stuff. But yeah, it's like it's what's that meme format where you're like, oh, they say it's something and then you check it and you're like, it's actually something else. You're like, hey, I used the Joker and Red Lantern recruit team. Like, oh, really? And you look at the team, it's like, it's Morloon. You're like, oh, of course it's Morloon.
And do Marvel. Yeah.
oh, it's Moreland and Blue Marvel and all, every other, another Pulse Wave piece, Phoenix and this, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, yeah. It's a bunch of AOE penetrating and Pulse Wave. All right, got it. All right. So
yeah. I'm sure the poison stuff was super good in it, but
yeah.
I do notice. So if you're doing pulse wave, obviously you're doing a lot of low damage. So maybe what he was doing is he was pulse waving to get stuff onto their last click, and then walking up with his lantern recruit, killing a guy, spawning a new one, walking up to another guy, killing that guy, spawning a new one.
Yeah, just chaining. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it would also help a lot too with, um, yeah, there's just a lot of figures that are even like that. Even if you're going against tentpole stuff like Moon Knight, it's just like, yeah, get him to a stop click, walk up, poison, hit him to the next stop click, and just kind
yeah,
of just keep using that poison trick to just so that they don't heal above it. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see what else. Any other? Yeah, that's the rest of the restricted list for Clicks
yeah,
Mania.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. So what? Uh, I don't. I don't expect you to have a team off the top of your head, but
yeah.
what stands out to you uh, with this different rule set and restricted list? What do you think you would end up playing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Because
I
you,
might
you can't
just
you can't play the
shave
exact same team
Timebreaker off my
because
team.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because it's like you have Bloodstorm and Timebreaker. You can't play them both. But so do you just go 395 and chuck
Well,
it to
no. I would at the very least replace him with the suited henchman because
yeah.
then I can copy Underworld too for my wild cards, and that's a good uh, ability there. But yeah, I don't know. Like there are so many team ideas that I've had, but this is tried and true. Why would I? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
Yeah.
I'd be willing to test out some ideas. Like I had an idea for a poison team I put together, or Fantastic Four. I think there are some really good Fantastic Four options that I was looking at. But again, like this bystander generation stuff, it's so good. Maybe everyone will just end up playing Primus. Yeah, I guess with the floor removed, Brute gets really really good. I think the only Brute on here is Morlun. Looks like so. You can play Morlun and Primus and Ferdinand to get the healing on Morlun for 30 points. So I was looking at stuff for Brute and I said, okay, well, Anthro is the only support on Brute theme. It's 55 points, it's kind of a lot, but Ferdinand has support that's just not called support because it was before the rules changed. And he has 30 points and has the Brute keyword, so you can just get away with him for Morlun. And there's a whole litany of support figures. You get the cell to basically give them all ESD. They have in terms of support powers. Like I don't know which brutes have probability control and stuff like that, but I'm sure there are brutes that have it. Or you can just break the theme and get, you know, some sort of probability control piece. Or the best combo in Pulp, in my opinion, Ashley Barton and Hal Jordan, and then
Yeah,
play.
I am kind of going back and forth. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna send you a team that is what I'm probably gonna use. It's not
Let's do it.
Ashley Barton and Hal Jordan, which I'm like, if I run into that, I'm gonna be sad. but
Yeah.
um,
Well, you do have
but
Orb, which is one of the best Hal Jordan counters in my opinion, because he basically doesn't worry about your defense value. He just says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna get a
yeah,
crit."
Orb's like I just don't miss attacks. Yeah, uh, so that helps a lot. And then yeah, and it's like if I can crit, obviously, if you crit with Orb, that makes uh, Ashley Barton lose the Mastermind.
Yep.
So then you can just try to just focus her. I got, I am running the Vanisher Leech combo, or I'm thinking about. This is what I'm probably gonna bring to Adepticon, um, but it's the meme that I made originally, before with the. When I was like, oh man, Morlun and Rhino, here we go. And then they were like, there's a floor. And I was like, crap, can't use Morlun and Rhino.
Rhino, that was the other brute I was thinking of. He's so
Yeah.
good.
And I was like, like Morlun, Rhino, and Primus. I'm like, I'm like, oh wait, that's too many points. I can't play them.
Yeah.
And I was like,
You
oh
can play
dang it. And
Morlun
I
at
was like,
65 if you want that combo.
no, 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 you never do that. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna try to play that triple combo and just
Yeah,
go
I
from there.
mean, it's
Like you mentioned, it's like
good.
some of that runs through blocking. I'm like, I don't think there's anybody better at running through blocking than Rhino.
Yeah.
Aside from the stuff that, like, yeah, you might say that Bulldozer is better in once the Rex Strickland comes out, because
Yeah, but only once Rex Strickland comes out. For now, he's not better.
yeah, because Rhino, the other thing that we didn't mention about um, the Adepticon Pulp event, and I think it's true. It might be true for all of them. Um, I don't know. I'm only looking at the description for this one, but it might be true for them all. Is that there's only quote unquote small maps are legal.
Yeah,
You're not allowed to
I
use big
do
maps.
not like that change.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause,
So for me, it's like,
yeah.
okay, like Rhino is feels similar to like Prime Rogue. It's like I can hit anywhere on the map, and the only way that you can prevent me from hitting somebody is like body blocking, just by putting characters in the way. And
Mhm.
then if you're putting characters in the way, then I'll just try to, I can clear out a path with Morlun or a bystander first, or maybe even Orb, probably not Orb, but who knows.
Yeah.
Um and then Rhino can hit whoever he wants, but it's, yeah, it's
Okay, yeah.
scary to think that it's like
But
there's nothing I can do to prevent this guy from running up and just punching me for a bunch. Again, aside from, yeah, that the Hal Jordan Ashley Barton thing, where it's like, oh man, I would want to
yeah.
come up and deal you a million damage, but I can't, so I have to just throw bystanders at you until until you relent, until you somehow miss against the bystander, or until Orb can get close enough and I don't know, and not die. It's one of those things, but we'll see.
Okay, so I think in that case, the way I would change my team if I were going to Adepticon and I had access to the figures I wanted would be I would swap Overdrive and Timebreaker for Pip the Troll. He is 2 passengers, 13 speed phasing. So then I could just, you know, carry my bystander generators across the map. Uh, carry. If I'm going first, I can carry Ilya Gregor and my other stuff with, goons and whatnot. And then, can't hide behind blocking because I'm phasing up to you. And then I just spawn 2 bystanders and slaughter your team. And that's that.
Let's see. Oh, he can carry people that can use Battle Fury too. That's nice.
Yeah, he can. So I was looking at him for a poison team with the Red Lanterns, but yeah, he's good. Another one that didn't get any play despite being really good.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, he's like surprisingly half decent. I don't know. Would
Yeah, and if
you
even if you KO him, you have someone else who you have
would you
another
play
taxi now. He just
him?
gives it to someone else.
Would you play him over Vanisher?
Oh, right. If there's no floor, what does Vanisher do? Let's see.
He's 11
Um,
movement to 13, but he kind of does the same stuff.
no, because if I just use
Oh,
Vanisher, I can only move. I can place my bystanders in square 14, so I can't make it across the map. I guess if I had a cheap perplex, are there any perplexes that are 15 points or less in pulp?
yeah. Yeah.
Somebody
There's
listening.
I think how do you spell it? Uh, there's this Stepford Cuckoo or whatever. Cuckoo. That's 15 points, and you can have it
See.
be outwit, prob, or perplex.
All right. Where is it?
It's like Cuckoo. That's how you spell it. I just put
I'm
KOO.
not seeing it on my search here. Let's see. Step forward. Cuckoo. Oh, okay. Because it wasn't showing up because it's not on our first starting line. But yeah, there you go. Maybe it would be that Stepford Cuckoo and Vanisher, because then Vanisher can move 12 squares, so he can drop the generators in 13. Oh no! It would have to be you have to move 13. No, what is it? No, he starts in 1. He can move 12, so he's in row 13. Then he drops the bystanders or the generators in 14, and they generate in 15 and can attack. That's what you'd have to do. So yeah, that could work. That would probably be a little better because Vanisher also gives you outwit, and that's always good to have.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do
That's
like
why
Pip
I'm playing.
Pip Patrol is still good for carrying Battle Fury though.
Yeah, of course. I feel like it's like, is the person you're carrying, does they have Battle Fury? If the answer is yes, then you're playing Pip Patrol. But if it's not, then you know. But it's like I don't think you're going to be carrying Rhino. It's like uh,
Yeah.
not,
No, the only thing I think that would be worth carrying would be the Red Lanterns that can poison after being carried. And you
right.
can't do that to the recruit because the recruit is only after moving.
Correct.
But the other ones, Lara and Hal Jordan, are if moved or placed.
All right. So let's see. I mean, do you think so? I think I'm just trying to look at from between the second and third event that we're talking about now for the events from last week and the week before. Uh, what teams that you ended up winning against gave you the most trouble?
Uh, Definitely Miguel's team gave me a lot of trouble. Just facing another Ashley Barton was problematic because I had so many stat boosts on my team.
he said, "Damn it, you're playing that too." And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, so I think that was the number one. And then the first time we fought, I only won by 25 points. It was after we forgot that Leech was turning off the Batman enemy ability. So that really could have gone differently. He maybe should have won that there, but then my second run against him, I realized, oh, he can't cross maps. So even though I'm going second, I'll just pick a small map, and then I'll be fine to run up and get him. And he had a lot of barrier too. That was tough for me, but I was able to pull it out both times. Let's see, uh, everything else pretty much at the second one, I wiped almost everyone, uh, except for my first match. But my first match, I also lost 50 points because the judge ruled something in a way that I did not think he should. And I took to Facebook after and I asked about it. No disrespect to the judge. He's a great judge, great guy. He just, made an incorrect ruling. Happens from time to time. I went to Facebook to ask about it, and they said that basically I was correct. So what happened was he had Morgan Le Fay on his team, and I KO'd Morgan Le Fay with a flurry. And on her last click, she has a stop click that says, when this click is revealed, after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to all opposing characters within 3 squares. And I had Hobgoblin on his last click. So if I revealed that, it would KO Hobgoblin. He would score 50 points. So what I did was I flurried her, and I took her to the stop click with the first attack and KO'd her with the second attack. And so The judge said you would deal the 1 penetrating damage from the last square she occupied, but actually she's off the map after resolutions there, so she would just deal. She doesn't occupy any squares, so there's no opposing characters within 3 squares of her to deal the damage to. So that shouldn't have dealt damage to any of my figures. But it was fine. I won anyway. So no harm, no foul there. And then I lost to the Ironheart team my first round of yesterday's match. That's kind of my fault too. Like I wasn't too worried about it because it was just in Swiss, and everyone was making top cut. But he moved Blue Marvel kind of where I could just reach him, and in my mind I was like, "Oh, Blue Marvel, I got him! I'm gonna get him, you guys!" And so I ran up and KO'd Blue Marvel, and then the rest of his team just mobbed me, and he took me all out. I did decently. I got 165 points. So, could have gone a lot worse, but wasn't great. Logan and I were pretty close in terms of points. He had Orb, who was really good against my team. Like we said, good against Hal Jordan. What else was he playing? Let's see. Yeah, Orb was the main issue there, but Logan did not play as aggressively as I think he probably should have been playing. I think he was a little scared to face Hal Jordan and Ashley Barton there, so he kind of ended up just sending out one person at a time with Kazar, and so they came up one at a time, and I was able to KO them. But we ended up not too big a difference in score, just 65 points of difference. And then Ryan Redman also had a bystander generator team, and picked Major Brock's Bunker, which is the bane of my team's existence. So both he and Logan picked it. So that was maybe the biggest factor was Major Brock's Bunker.
I was laughing off on the side when every time you're like, "Go ahead, pick Major Brock's Bunker. I dare you." In the back of your mind, you're like, "Please don't." You're like,
yeah. But so that was another one where I won by only 65 points. But it's just like my opponent has the ability to play on Major Brock's Bunker, and I don't. They basically can control the flow of the match a lot better than I can. But that's that doesn't help them as much if they try to move up and generate bystanders next to Ashley Barton and they don't get any stat boosts. So in the end, I was still able to pull it off. And then of course Primus in my final match was too much for me, and he took me out.
I will say you also did get a little unlucky. Primus was rolling quite a few shape changes.
Yeah, I made like 5 or 6 attacks against Primus that would have KO'd him near the end there, and they all either shape changed out or I just missed him. So, that is what it is. It there was stuff on both sides though too. Like he messed up his blocking terrain placement with a barrier at one point, and that let me just kill Moreland. So, I don't want to say, oh, well, I could have had him if just this one thing happened, because it also could have gone a lot differently if he had, placed his blocking a little smarter, or if he had hit some of the attacks he missed. So, right. The other thing, too, was he hit Ashley Barton was on her second click, and he hit her with 6 damage blades for his last attack of the turn with Red Widow, and that KO'd her. Or was it with Red Widow? It might have been with Manifold. But someone hit a 6 damage blades on her and KO'd her instantly, when might have been around to poison and to flurry and to do a whole bunch of other stuff. It is what it is,
Yeah, I will say that was one of the more entertaining matches to watch in quite some time. And I will say, I don't mean this. I mean this as a compliment, but you were very animated that game, and
I was really getting into it. I'm glad you enjoyed my sound effects.
Yeah, I mean, man, like when you would hit triple target mind controls with Dr. Psycho, and you were just like, "This is gonna be the juiciest thing ever." And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I have seen so many triple and quadruple mind control. Like you hit everybody, and you're like, he's gonna miss every single attack with these
I
controlled
did at the
characters.
very least KO Ramonda, but what I really should have done is I should have outwitted Impervious over Shape Change on Primus, and that way I could have gone after him with what's the guy's name? Manifold as well, because Manifold as it was just kind of stuck there. And he didn't really have a good chance of doing stuff to Primus. And that way, like, you know, even if Primus rolled Shape Change, I could just attack someone else with Red Widow, and that would have been fine.
Yeah, and it also was true. Like, if you did hit that first attack on Primus, then he wouldn't have had Impervious anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like because you were hitting him with Moreland, right? Because it would have been a precision strike.
Well, no, it
So
was I didn't even have to go after him with Moreland. I went after him
okay,
with Red Widow, and for some reason,
Redwood,
when I
right?
mind controlled
Redwood,
Red Widow
yeah,
there, I would think to myself, okay, Red Widow, I got 2 or 3 attacks because she got the flurry and the re-roll, make a new attack if you roll 1 or 2, and I
right.
don't
No,
know
that
what
was it. It was
didn't
yeah.
go into
But
my
either way,
head
yeah.
there.
But like
And
you
then
mentioned, yeah,
Ricky made the
Red
same
Widow.
mistake against me when he mind controlled my bystander, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna flurry."
Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
like, no,
it was getting
oh yeah,
late at that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So okay, so with all the experience that you've had and the created restricted list that we've seen from Degeneration at Adepticon,
Mm.
if you were asked to give a couple figures either be added to or even removed from the banned list from Pulp, or to create a restricted list, what characters come to mind uh, that you think deserve to be put on that list?
Okay, so if they're saying no piece can be played above 150 points, you can unban Thanos just fine. I do not think he's problematic at 150. Uh, I don't even know if I think he's that bad at 300 in the absence of Ares. At the very least, against my team here, if I faced Thanos at 300 points, I would just laugh and then kill him. Like, he's, you know, if you can outpace him, you're just fine. He's only making 1 attack anyway. Uh, so I don't know. I mean, he does do well against a lot of teams, of course, but definitely if you're banning 150 points or more than 150 points, you can play him at 150 and he won't be a problem. Let's see. I don't think Fantastic Four swap should be banned. I think with a floor, it makes sense to have that because you might use it to cheat the floor. But a lot of the good Fantastic Four pieces are are Silver Age anyway. So, and we definitely don't need Frightful Four swap banned. That's unnecessary.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Um,
said, yeah. Well, we already talked about the floor doesn't need to
yeah, and
stay. Hopefully that goes away.
if that's the case, I can see why Professor X might be banned because X Men just has so many options. I don't think you would need to ban Magneto at that point either. Trying to think, Orb should maybe go on the restricted list. He's really, really good. And if you put Orb on the restricted list, you can take off Spiderling.
But do you think? I mean, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
Do you know? Because Orb is still pretty decent even without Spiderling.
yeah. He's really good without Spiderling. He's yeah. I just think he's a really strong piece. He's got 7 clicks of life for 45 points. I can charge Flurry or he can running shot Energy Explosion for a crit hit and deal 3 damage to a bunch of people. He's extremely good. Logan was saying he's the best figure in Pulp, and he's not. That's Timebreakers. But I think if we're talking best attacker, he's definitely a contender. Uh, Trying to think who else might be there. I would consider putting Aaliyah Gregor on a restricted list there, and maybe removing either Moreland or Bloodstorm. But that way you can kind of say, okay, well, if you're playing a bystander team, you need a Leah Gregor, so you can't get any of these other good figures that are on the restricted list. Or maybe you do put bystanders and something else from the restricted list, but without a Leah Gregor, they're not as good.
And then, do you think? How do I want to frame this question correctly? So, the current philosophy around creating a ban or restricted list in any format from WizKids is to, generally speaking, make a watch list. They don't always do this, but sometimes they feel like it, sometimes they don't. And then they go, hey, we're looking at these figures. And then after some amount of time, they will either, they'll confirm that they're going to change them or they won't. But they will, their philosophy is, doesn't matter how more or less obviously broken a game element is when on release, we have to let people use it as is and then see if we need to address it in some way. Do you think that is necessary in some cases, or is that something that even needs to be continued at all? For example, we obviously see that Rick Strickland is going to be played a lot in PULP.
Yeah.
Is it more healthy for the format to say, hey, you know what, maybe something like Rex just immediately goes on the restricted list, with some other characters that you would not want Rex to be played with? For example, like Moon, like if Rex and Moon Knight just were placed on the restricted list, and then like no other really critical soldier piece was also put on the restricted list. So you're like, look, it's just the Rex and Moon Knight thing. We don't want anybody using that for right now. It's kind of like, it's not like Rex, as we discussed before, that wouldn't make Rex unplayable. It's just like, hey, maybe you don't play Rex and some soldiers and then also like throw Morloon on there. Like it's just like that's maybe a little bit too much. But is it worth preemptively, almost, I say, like preemptively putting somebody on a restricted or banned list before they even have a chance to be used?
Yeah, I'm fine with putting them on a restricted list before they have the chance to be used. Like it's obvious that Rex Strickland Moon Knight is going to be really, really good. Like you don't need a master's degree in HeroClix to figure that out. But if they wanted to put Rex Strickland on the ban list right away, I'd be like, okay, come on, let's test out the waters for a little bit. Maybe someone's gonna find something that makes Rex Strickland just not very good. I don't know, if there's some figure buried in Superior Foes of Spider-Man that says opposing characters that can use stealth get -2 to their combat values, or something silly that was not that good under the old rules, but is now a lot better to deal with him. And I'm sure there's stuff like that out there for a lot of characters. So I'm against banning things right away, but I'm not opposed at all to putting them on a restricted list right away.
Yeah, and
I will say Rotlob fan is an exception to that. He would be just ridiculous on things like Major Brock's Bunker. I'm glad I did not have to play against him.
But yeah, I mean, that's another, good thing. It's like, that's a good example of say like, hey, look, like this should never have been used, and it never was. We never even needed to see it. We just knew it wouldn't be, good for the format.
Yeah.
But I also want to. I think it would be good that any band list, I think, with few exceptions, I think should just be by default a temporary ban list. Obviously, there's going to be things that create infinite combos. Like, okay, there should never be an infinite combo in HeroClix, so we can, always remove those from the table. But I think if something, if something was released that, or was set to be released, and we're like, okay, this is gonna kind of break this format. And if we're completely like, hey, maybe we put them on a temporary ban list just until maybe like they get like an errata or something, and then
Yeah.
we can remove them from that temporary ban list and address them however would be most appropriate. I just think that I have the opinion of it. We don't need to wait and see whether or not a figure is going to be as good as it obviously will be. If that will cause issues or uh, streamline the meta such that you either play this team or you play the team's counter to it, or you kind of just play a C tier team and you don't do that well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't see what else we got. I mean, there's really we'll see what happens with Pulp. Like I said, I hope it stays fresh. I
Yeah,
am
me
going
too.
to I'm going to be I don't know, begging, I guess in a way. I really want to be involved in the frequent change to pulp, not necessarily because I feel like, oh, I know everything or whatever. I just
Yeah.
uh, I was talking to, again, you might have already heard this. Maybe I said this in the last episode. Maybe you heard me say this to Rick the other day, but I really think that the best case, because we have evidence already. We have years, decades of evidence, even to say that WizKids isn't quick enough to kind of immediately address an issue, um, and then that's not the general kind of way that they do things. Like that's the
Mhm.
exception to their rule. Again, like their rule is to let's wait like 6 months and then we'll say, hey, cases might be a problem. And it's like they've been a problem for the
Yeah.
whole time. What are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
like for me, like the fact it's like how we all know Halt Mutant in modern age, in my opinion, is like Time Breakers in Pulp. It's the best 5 points you could spend on any team.
Yeah.
So how is that not immediately on the ban list? Like I said, in my opinion, I was like, how is Timebreaker not immediately on the ban list? What um, but the fact that like that Halt Mutant isn't even on the watch list, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? It's
Yeah.
like that's
Loki,
ridiculous.
like I don't even know if I want to play the game in modern until Loki rotates out. Or I'll just play my own Loki. I got a Loki in my chase booster yesterday that I won. So that was really exciting for me. But
Nice,
like
yeah. And again,
I don't
another
know why
piece,
I
right?
would play anything that is not Loki until they fix him.
Yeah,
Because it just
again,
takes care of every other meta piece.
almost. It takes care of all of them except the most powerful one, which is Prime Rogue.
That's true, yeah. Well, I don't know. What can I even do against Prime Rogue?
Well,
I'll
you
just
play your own.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. With Loki, Prime Rogue, game over. You just win the game at that point. Like
Yeah, because Prime Rogue, has the strange ability to outwit whatever power she wants and then keep it, and then she keeps it even if that, you
yeah, even
know,
if she loses it.
yeah, even if she loses that power, which Loki will make her lose, and then you're like, oh, I don't care, I still have it, and then now
Yeah.
I lost it, I can never choose again, so I can never lose it. Like, you know, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so like I said, it's like WizKids is saying, no, we need to see it. Like, show me that Loki is going to be an issue. And you're like, why do we have to show you?
Yeah.
Like, it's either players kind of en masse have to say, like, hey, let's truce, everybody. Like, let's not let's not have all of us bring Loki. Can we only just have a couple of people play Loki, and then
Yeah.
that way most of us can have fun with special powers? And like,
One
no,
thing one thing I was thinking actually is I'd play Loki like as a mind controller with Prime John Stewart, and then if my opponent plays Loki, I just I try to go first, damage Loki until he gets to stop click, and I say no one else uses special powers. That's fine. John Stewart can function fine without them. If they don't, if they have people who won't be harmed by that, though, I can just use Loki as an attacker because he's super good as an attacker. With Destroyer
yeah, and,
armor, you've got 21 to 22 defense. Mind control is free. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
and we were talking too. It's like the addition of Dormammu just goes, yeah, I'm gonna mind control you as free, but I'm gonna roll 3 dice, and then
Yeah,
I'm gonna ignore if I ignore a dice that also puts me to my stop click, and it's like, all right, that's kind of ridiculous. you know, I'm gonna mind control people. You might even hit the attack still, and then you mind control people, and then after that, you go to your stop click and say, okay, and then you have no special powers, and good
yeah.
luck. Like,
Yeah, he's
what do
silly. He's just a silly piece.
yeah, that in term, and on top of the Chase Nico, which is like, okay, let's get 3 additional one shots that now you're going to be spending 2 to 3 turns just dealing with.
Yep.
Because you're like, oh, Loki's on his stop click. Let's just kill him. And you're like, well, actually, no, because he's got images of Icon, and then he's got, Shield of Sephirim, and then he's got Crimson Bands, and like you can't do anything against him. You're like, yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. I was thinking
Um,
one way you might be able to get around him is I've been playing Ace with Destroyer armor, but that makes it hard for it to cross map with Abomination. Something if I put something else on Ace, like the Dream Ruby or something, and that will make people not want to attack her. I can carry her across the map with Abomination, and then Abomination attacks, kills someone else. But Ace just outwits Loki's stop click. He can't use it. Uh, Ace, and then they have to KO Ace because they can't outwit her, of course, unless they have Pulse Wave, and then there you go. So I guess not that good after all. But uh, yeah, that was the thought I had. Is Ace might be able to help against him, but then again, you have to go first to do that, and have to. I guess they can probably just do it during first turn immunity, can't they? So you can't even do it with Ace. Yeah, it's just a losing battle.
yeah, that's like, yeah, when you're like, you bring up a good point. The best counter to it is Ace, and it works at best 50% of the time.
Yeah.
Because if you go, I should say, it works at best 50% of the time. Yeah, that's the limit to it, because most of the time it doesn't even work because your opponent may have a way to activate Loki on their own without requiring to interact with any of your characters.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, I'll just deal Loki, give him 4 damage and end my turn. And you're like, oh, okay, well, what do I do now? And you're like, now I lost all my cool stuff. I can't hit you
Yeah.
anymore. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose to either a prime rogue or a prime white tiger or something, whatever.
Oh
Just
yeah.
some special power is just gonna beat the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was thinking if they don't fix Loki before rotation in silver, Magneto Loki is just going to be the best team. Not even close.
I
Because
think
Magneto
I have,
can auto damage Loki for 3
yeah,
clicks of damage, and then Magneto has no special powers, so
I have
he's this
there's a
terrible
there's
powerful piece.
there's a slight chance. There's a slight chance that that Phoenix Force Thor can pull that out though, because he doesn't have special powers either. Well, the only special power he gets would be from the Destroyer, making him a giant. Losing
Yeah.
giant is fine. He just because he keeps the +2
Mhm.
defense. All I care about. So
Yeah.
there's a chance. It's not good. It's not good, but
Yeah. Well, there's also
um,
like so my idea that I had in my head is I would do Magneto, who would have the Mandarin rings for the knockback and the shape change, and then Loki would have the Bloodstone. So Bloodstone is good against Thor. It makes it harder for him to heal, right? And then if Magneto is doing knockback, like with his pulse wave and stuff, and he is dealing extra damage to Thor that way. So I would feel pretty good about going in against Thor. But that's
Yeah.
another one, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
if they don't fix Loki, all of a sudden you have Loki and Phoenix Force Thor. It's another team where it's just so silly. So yeah, he needs to be fixed.
Yeah. So what if you had to fix him right now in 30 seconds? What do you think would fix him?
Um, just just say it can only be when revealed by an opposing effect. That's all you need. And then he's still this scary offensive presence. He's still really, really good, but he's not game breaking.
Do you think it's just a better game philosophy or game design to have every effect, similar to his, where it's like it's a stop click that's and then on reveal, blah 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 blah. Do you think it's just better for every effect to have that, when this power is revealed by an opposing effect? Do you think it's just better to have every single one be like that?
I think it depends on the effect. Like Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk. Yeah, I hate playing against him. If he were that way, I think he'd be a lot more balanced. But he also wouldn't be meta, and that's So I think as long as it's not the overly crazy things like the Loki power, I think you can still build balanced characters in that regard.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the effects that permanently change the game state with there's no possible way that you can revert back to the previous game state. Like once,
Yeah.
it's really the two that are there. There's Loki and then there's Gauntlet Spider-Man. Once
Yeah.
those
Those are
powers
the two.
reveal and resolve, you can't say, well, is there anything that both me and my opponent, let's coordinate and work together to revert the game state back to it. It's like, no, you can't. There's
Yeah.
no
No.
way that you can just say, oh, now let's play, let's take that back. No.
Yeah.
Versus like you said with Spirit of Vengeance, you could say, all right, well, hey, I generated this really cool pilot. It's like, well, my opponent could say, I can KO that pilot, and then now we're back in the same game state that we were before. Of course, well, that KOing the pilot oftentimes generates a different one, but
Yeah, but
uh,
I can
but
also
it,
if they just go to Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk. Like I said, I usually play Ace, so I can just walk up and out with that power, and then I can just
right.
kill him. And then I only have to deal with like Thanos or Beholder or whatever he spit out. I'm gonna be right back. I need to switch to my phone from my computer. I'll be right
We
back.
can we can wrap it up if you want.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I need to pick up my
All right.
wife anyway, so this is probably a good point to wrap up.
All right. No, but yeah, thanks for talking.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, like I said, I look forward to seeing the next Elo rankings. I'm hoping we took the top spot, but either way, like I said, I think uh would you say, I know based on the kind of results orientated, would you say that Pulp is a favorite format of yours, or are you optimistic about it, or
Uh, I don't know if it's my favorite. My favorite formats are like weird stuff. Like any new format basically is my favorite format. If people have been playing it for a while and there's an established meta, it's not my favorite format. But stuff like this or the first Bling Bash we did, where it was you can only use chases, iconics, and LEs. I think is what we said. Oh, and primes. That was it. That was really fun for me because I like exploring all the possibilities. I don't like to have to go into an established meta. So I'd say
Gotcha.
that. So it's my favorite format for now. Over time, though, we'll see whether that changes or not.
Like I said, I'm going to be begging the people in Florida. I'm going to say, please let me be part of this team. We can make this. Ideally, it would be my dream to have stuff like Pulp be a completely just say, let's make it a fan run format. We'll just have the rules posted on the CCO website. We can, Clay can put those in HC units, and it doesn't need WizKids approval. We'll just say this is it. Just HC units is a fan made site. And there you go. Just so we can have changes just be lightning quick, and we don't need to have a whole committee of whatever brain trust people decide what to do, and just say, look, this is we're going to make these changes. They might not be all improvements, but it's going to be frequent enough where hopefully every time you sit down at a major event and it's the Pulp format, you're not playing the same thing, so you have to rethink the team. So
It'd be nice. I guess we'll see.
But yeah, thanks for sitting down or standing up or whatever you're doing and talking. And
thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, and if you keep winning events, we'll bring you back on again. No.
That's a high bar, but I guess I'll have to do it. All right, I'll see ya.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.